mix out. Lower down that volume just a wee bit. Let me get set up, guys, and I will let you know what's happening here in a second. Okay, let's get that all set up. Alrighty, guys. So we're just gonna do a nice casual stream tonight on Farming Sim. My PC, it's been having some issues running certain games, and it's had some issues just doing a few different things as of late. And with this, I just got a new GPU for it, so I'm trying to get everything played out, worked out with it, with all the games, and get all the shaders downloaded that I need. So it's taking some time to kind of get everything ironed out with it, and it's doing some weird stuff. So I don't know when I'll start recording again. I want hopefully soon, but we are going to be playing some Farming Sim and trying to get some stuff going here. So as you can tell, this has definitely got mods in it. This is Farming Simulator 22. It does have a decent amount of mods, just not something insane. But this is definitely something I like to have in here. It's a rock, or it's a stone picker out of the field to pick the stones out of the field, and it's a little bit wider than the normal one. I think the normal one's like, I think 6 meters wide, and this one's 9. This makes picking up the rocks a lot easier, especially when you got to plow. Probably should have our beacons on here. All right, now we'll go ahead and get going. Got the dual setup on this tractor for the pulling and tractive effort on the back for when we plow. I don't really like to run duals in the front just because they're a pain in the butt to turn. You have a little bit less of a turning radius. But that's okay. Sometimes I do. Got sunflowers off over there. So we own field 2, which we're coming up on. And then we own field 25 all the way at the top in the center almost. 25 is going to be our grass field, and then this field will be our arable field that we're gonna put in April. We're gonna put soybeans in. To make sure we get nice and straight here. Okay. Turn that on. Open up our guidance steering. Let's start that path. Go straight for a second. Okay, it went. We'll hook up our guidance steering. We'll go. Now we're hooked up to the guidance steering. Or GPS as it's better known as. So we got a pretty decent field. We're gonna put soybeans here, and then in 25, I think is what it is. We're gonna put it as our grass field because there's some things I want to try with the grass that are new. I want to kind of get into the digestate silo system or silage system that they added in. So we're gonna definitely try that out. Yeah, we'll just get our first couple passes here in the middle. This is kind of like a weird zone, anyways, because part of our farmyard is in this field. If we were to get rid of our farmyard, we had to have a pretty decent sized like square field, but all the silos and everything over there takes up a pretty good chunk of land. Didn't realize that we're gonna have to move that case. Yeah, we'll move it eventually when we get to that point. But for now, it is a-okay. I want to try to get some of these headlands done here. I don't like having to go all the way in the middle of the road. I will, but I don't like to. Okay, get that all nice and tight, and then don't worry, we'll come back and pretty that up in a minute. We're just getting a couple basic passes down until we can actually start managing to get turned around. And this side, we're not going to be too worried about it as it is because we're going to go up and down the other way. We're just pretty much setting our headlands for this side so we don't run into the road. Get that. We'll come around and we'll get this little bit over here. No, it doesn't really matter because there's not really any stones over there or over here, but I like to make it all one texture. Okay, so guidance steering is not going to work for that just yet. I didn't realize that path was offset that much, the edge of the field. It's okay, we'll come down here, then we'll go in and enable it. It'll kick us over here. And we'll just come back down. Set our cruise for a second, and we'll get on zipping down the road. Okay, now when we come down here, we will go ahead and get our headlands active, or not active. I was thinking about activating something or yeah, brain's not working. I need more coffee. But we're gonna go ahead and get our headlands set down here. Just do a couple passes. It's not gonna be a like we may make them bigger as we go through, but I just something to kind of get us started with right now, anyways. Turn the strobes on because we're definitely coming up. couple spam comments. Okay. And then we'll work on this first section here. Or turn off our beacons because we don't need it. Okay, and our seasons are set to 10 days, and it is set to seasonal growth. So our seasons will be kind of long, but it gives us some time to kind of mess around with some stuff in between, not just so always having to be in the field doing something. Plus, as we grow and expand, we'll want some more time, and I like to set it to about a 15 times because it's just the right amount of like work, and then it gives you like a little bit of a brain break because you got to go sleep, which gives you like a okay check-in point, and then you go back to it. Hopefully everything is looking good on your guys' side with how it's coming in. Hopefully it's not getting all blurred out or resolution, because then that's another thing too that's been messing up is my internet. So it's been kind of hard to get something done just because internet, computer, just everything's been messing up lately. But if this works, if this actually ends up on YouTube pretty decently and not all messed up and mumble jumbled and stuff, I might end up just doing live streams for a bit. And then once I finally get all of my other recording software and editing software all good to go and back to where it needs to be, then we'll go from there. Like I said, I just got a new GPU, and it's a big upgrade, so I'm having to do a few things I'm not used to doing, getting everything set up, and with it being so long that I have to get drivers reset and games as it is, or for some reason I'll have stutters in games and I don't know why. I don't know. It shouldn't be a power issue. I should have plenty of power in there. But it's kind of acting like a GPU stutter, and it shouldn't be a CPU stutter, but it might be. And we'll get it back to railroads once railroads kind of smoothens out. For some reason, I don't know if it's just my PC and the way it's running it, or if it's railroad online itself or what, but its stutters are really bad for my PC at the moment, no matter what graphical settings I put it on. unless I put it on like low, and then it's really dark and you can't see nothing, and then it's not worth anything. So we'll get back to recording and streaming railroads when it smooths out. Been looking in the patch updates, and it looks like they've been uh they should have fixed a few things. So we might go see in a little this weekend and see. I might play around with it and see if it gets any better or got any better. It looked like some of the stuff that they changed or added in or fixed, it should get better, but we'll see. But right now, at the moment, it's for me, it's kind of I, I can't really play it because it's just it breaks the immersion because it stutters every 2 seconds, and it looks like I'm trying to play on like a Windows Vista PC essentially, the performance anyways. So if it's not enjoyable for me to play, I don't think it's enjoyable for you guys to watch, and I don't want to have to try to sit here and show you guys something that's not enjoyable to watch or play for the moment. So once it gets ironed out, we'll go ahead and start going back to railroads. So don't worry, I haven't forgot about that. But as of right now, we'll stick with the farming simulator, or stick with the simulator vibe to games for the moment. We'll do a few other games in there, but I think we're just gonna stick with live streams for right now, if they go well, anyways. And um, we'll just stick with them for a little bit, get back into the groove of things, and then we'll go from there. But we're almost coming to the end of this field, which is awesome. I mean, we've got like half of it done. We've got the other half to do. And then we'll move to 25, which is a lot smaller of a field. A lot smaller of a field. But it'll be nice to get that done. We'll get that planted in grass as soon as we can. So pretty much right after we get done with this. So we'll head up with that case. And then we won't plant this field that we're currently on, which is 2. We won't plant that until April, just because of the fact that we want to plant soybeans and the crop calendar, the growth calendar shows it growing up in April, or is the season for planting soybeans is in April. So go ahead and handle that. All right, so we'll get lined up for our pass there, but we'll go ahead and hop out and move this dude forward. I had him out, getting him ready, getting some seed in him, getting him all hooked up and ready to go up to field 25 once we got done with the getting the stones out of it. I like to get the stones out of the field before I run the planters through it, just because in real life stones would also mess up the planter, or could. So to add some of that realism, not a whole lot, but some of it back in, we're we're definitely going to be trying to get the stones up first. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to plant a strip of grass right here where this section is, because there's no point of having this little sploof out right here of the field, because it takes so much longer just to get all of it and take the time to actually manage to get it, rather than if we were to just kind of chop that section off. And we'll gain field space somewhere else with one of our other fields, so I'm not really too worried about it here. And really, at these first couple fields that we're going to purchase, other than obviously like the grass one, aren't going to be for selling the grain to, or for productions. We're going to be using it to turn into diesel. I know I can buy diesel, but I'd rather make diesel if I can. And I have a mod in here that adds in a diesel production. So, and it requires soybeans. I think I want to say sunflowers and corn, but I'm not sure about that. I'll have to look into it a little bit more and see what it wants. Okay, now my question is, will it let me dump the stones into this? I don't imagine so, but it's worth a shot. No. Yeah, stones are not accepted here. Okay. So, we're gonna hook up a conveyor since we could dump them on the ground, but I don't really want to re-dump them on the ground. I'd rather put them in a silo somewhere. So what we might do is hop into the store real quick. Let's see here. Go into here, go to silos. And we'll come up, find a stone silo just specifically solely for stone. At least that's what we'll use it for. Let's see here. We've got a decent one. Okay, we'll just use this and we'll put it in brown so that way we know it's a stone one. This one's one of my favorite silo mods. It's so great. That should give us enough space to clear that light post. And if anything, I think I might be able to remove that light post. But because we're going to turn these stones into um, lime, we're going to crush them up and turn them into lime. So we would definitely want to keep them, but we just don't have the capabilities of doing that at the moment. And then I'm more wanting to get 25 planted in grass before then. So we're just gonna come up with this system really. That way, as we need the lime, we can pull it out of the silo here. A little bit of a collision and jackknifing that. Okay, all right, that works. It's really a tight spot, not really a good spot for that, but it works. Okay, now the question is we've got to find where. Okay, so we'll go ahead and. I don't think I completed this whole line. Did I? No. Okay, we'll start picking stones up from there. We'll keep on going. Keep on rolling. Oof. Light post. Really don't want to take all of this just in case we hit a point where it gets a little bit too wide for them to implement. And also it helps me, spot the line all the way down there and remember about it. But I think we're just gonna just save from hitting those damn light posts. So we should have the beacons on if we're this close to the road as it is. Okay. Sharp turn. And then we need to get another headland across there, but I want to figure out where this GPS line is. So it's right here. Okay. So now we're cleaning up the edge for GPS to go ahead and get. And then we'll clean up the other end on the way back down, and then we'll do a headland down here, unless we've already got one. We've got one, but it's not as big as we would like it to be. I usually try to do about 3 passes with the implement, whatever size it is. Um, for a headland. 3 passes seems to be pretty. It seems to be a pretty good rule because obviously the wider you get, a little bit longer you're gonna get as well, with at least most of the implements in the game. So if you just stick to the width as your passes and do 3 passes, usually you're sitting pretty solid. We're almost done with this field, and then we'll move up to 25, which is a lot smaller. Again, we'll go ahead and seed that, get that field all ready to go. Because that field will be what we start doing stuff with pretty early on. So I do want to get the Bogus plant or the biomass heating plant, whatever it comes with the plant pumps and hoses DLC. I want to get that going because it does have a generator in it to help start generating money off of some of that. So, and as well as we get fertilizer, and that's what we're going to use for fertilizing our fields. So we'll get into all of that. We're going to be running Kubotas for the smaller tractors on a lot of our odds and end tractors, and then horse, our big main horsepower tractors or field workers are going to be our cases. Normally, I go with like Fen or sometimes Class, sometime, or then a lot of times John Deere. I'm trying to break that habit, so there's not as much of a selection of case tractors as I would like there to be, but it do be what it do be. We work with what we got. Okay, so that should give us a pretty good headland on this side. We'll get our GPS on and we'll start knocking out these lanes. Start knocking them real hard. Get a nice, like, we're working hard. Look, it's under a load. I do have the Dusty Lands extension in, which adds a little bit more dust and or scales up the factor of dust. At least you can, or you can downscale it. Lets you have a little bit more control over the dust in game, which is really neat. And then I have a exhaust extension mod on here as well, which makes the exhaust a little bit darker, makes the tractors actually look like they're under a load when they're under a load rather than just clear exhaust. So, I mean, in real life, for the most part, diesel exhaust will be clear like that, but if you step on it, you'll start to see a little bit of black come out. And that's a pretty healthy diesel, just a little bit. You don't want a whole lot. And it just kind of adds some more realism. And I actually find that it's a little bit more immersive to have the exhaust come out in a darker color like that. And as the tractor in game wears, just like in real life, it will get a little bit darker and become a little bit more cloudy. It's kind of neat. Okay, so we'll get turned around here. Oh, I missed that because I had some sneezes. Something got my nose running. I'm actually kind of liking the as much as I have kind of tried to stay away from this tractor here since it's been in every farming simulators that I played. I've kind of just gotten to the point where it's like, meh, it's a tractor that I really don't like touching because we've always had it. We've had it for the longest time, We John Deere, some that we just got, Kubota, Class, all of those. And now we have some other tractors coming in, so a case is kind of becoming a thing of the past and in Farming Simulator anyways, for the most part, unless you go off Mod Hub. But I haven't played with the tractor in a bit and or for a long time, and I'm actually kind of liking it. It's kind of nice. It's definitely different than the John Deeres that I normally drive or the Fence. Not any good, not in good or bad ways. Just it's different. Just in real life, they all have their own perks and their own. They all have their pros and cons. So, and I definitely kind of like that grain cart over there, the auger wagon on the tracks, because it's a small boy, but I completely miss that. It's a small boy, but it holds a lot and it's pretty maneuverable, so it's great for filling up the seeder. If it was a little bit higher, it'd be great for that seeder, but it's really good for a lot of just the, oh, I gotta load this wagon or this seeder, or I gotta load, fertilizer into this. I don't, and it's something that you might not necessarily have set to a silo, so you want to use like an auger wagon because you don't want to have to sit there and put pallets and sit there and spend like an hour just putting pallets into a seeder or something else. So it's nice to definitely fill up, have as like a mobile storage. Ah, and it's raining just as we're working here. Realistically speaking, we would probably be stopping depending on how much rain and how hard it actually was coming down. But we'll just keep on rolling. Start to kick on our work lights here. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to stop just because of rain for 5 passes at max. But other than that, this field should be ready to go. I think we do need to definitely figure out how precision farming works and use the scanner on it to scan the soil. So I'll have to figure out which one works and how it works and all that good jazz. But we really need to do that, and then we need to give it some lime, I think. But as of right now, I don't really have any soil samples of any of my fields yet, just because I haven't figured out what sensor actually works for what. Take a nice little sip of coffee. Cup of coffee keeps the doctor away. I do have the mod. What's up? I do have the mod Terraform in here, so I can just freely dig anywhere with some of the equipment that's set for it, which is pretty neat. Um, and if we start actually getting into a series, Stone Valley can be definitely a series. We could do one on Yukon Valley, which I have. Actually have quite a bit of couple maps that we could do a couple different series is on. Definitely try a couple. I like to do a little bit more of the American styled maps just because it's from what I see on YouTube, it's not as common as a lot of the European maps. And on top of that, American maps is what I'm used to. They're a little bit bigger and like not like actual scale ratio bigger, but the roads are a little bit wider, just like they would be in the US, you know. So Okay, so that is that field done and dusted. We'll go ahead and empty the collector here, and then we'll run up to 25 and get set up to do that. I do have traffic turned off just because they are kind of a nuisance, and it seems that they do cause some lag for me for whatever reason. More lag than what they need to be, and I shouldn't have any issues. I do have a lot of mods installed that I really don't need. So in future series or episodes or whatever, we'll probably get rid of quite a bit of mods and just run with a few basic ones. Okay, now let's see if I can do this without hitting the light post this time. Okay, so we definitely have that field done. I know it's going to get dark here soon, so I don't want to get too far going with something. Um, we could. Oh, we got to go through that real quick. Go take those bales up to a sell point. Get them off of the. I think that's, yeah, North Valley bales. Let's see, what is straw bales selling for? Probably not much, if anything. Straw, let me see. Ooh. So we have the biomass heating plant, which we can sell, or they're both going to be the same price and they're both kind of going up. Or North Valley, which is going to be closer for us though. So North Valley's right there. And I think the biomass heating plant's right there. So, really, in all honesty, they're both not that far. I'd say the sale point would probably, or the North Valley point, fail point over here would probably be easier to sell at the moment. So we'll probably go do that. Now I got this thing in here. I wonder if I can get it back out. And just because I don't have the infrastructure right now to transport these with like a actual trailer, because this isn't really a transporting trailer. This is just to basically get them off the field or get them in a neat stack, and then you would stack them on the trailer. But since I don't really have the infrastructure to do that, we'll just go ahead and take this dude all the way down there. It'll be fine. Drive on this side of the road. Make everybody think that we're driving in like Europe somewhere. Just because I don't accidentally want to clip a tree or a light post with the grabber there. Okay, so North Valley should be back there. Yeah, looks like it. Question is, how do I get back here? Ooh, trees are in the way. Okay. Okay, so that looks like it's livestock right here. So we gotta go back even farther. Yeah, around the livestock building. Ooh, maybe not. If this is the gate we gotta get through to sell bales, I don't think we're gonna get through that. We're gonna see. Ooh, not even the tractor will get through that. Okay. Let's see if they've got another, like, a wider way to get through here. Try it and see. I don't know how much better it's really gonna be. Well, maybe not because we gotta get through that gate. Do these open? No. But we can just dump into that and push them in, I guess. Let everybody know we're coming backwards. And we're not gonna be able to turn around in there, I don't think. So it's time for some Mater action here. I guess we could have probably flipped around. Okay, now if I remember how to do this, it should be... Is it really just this? And then we gotta go unload. About 20,000 for those bales. That's not bad. By just flipping a switch in the combine, running a few more, two more machines. So really, we're gaining probably like 15,000 just off of flipping a switch, really. that if we switched it to disable on the combine, the swath, we wouldn't be getting. Okay, we're gonna leave these on just until we can get out of here. No, oof, that's a fence. That's another fence. I'm just messing up my axles altogether. I don't even know if we can get through that. We're hitting everything. How can we get through here so much easier backwards than we can? Okay. Now I gotta remember how to get out of here. It's time to exit the maze. Follow the tracks. Okay, we'll turn these on. I'll go left. And it shouldn't be that far before we come up on our turn here. We'll go ahead and park up at the house. Go ahead and nappy nap until 7 in the morning, and we'll get right back at it. Right back at it again for another stone collecting session. And we're gonna have to find a pretty decent area to start putting like the custom buildings on, because like I said, we're gonna need to get into the pumps and hoses stuff, and we will. Because I'm kind of interested about that. It's not something. It's kind of new to me. I don't want to miss my turn here. Oh, this can go off. I don't need that on no more. Okay, it's not that one. It's this one. See, look, the mod or the map creator put a runway in for me, so we can find it at night. Okay, this is the Kubota. So if this is the Kubota, we want to park him somewhere he's gonna be out of the way, and we can turn our work lights on here. Sure, don't clip that tractor. Ooh. See, first person gets a little rough. As you can see, it's stuttering pretty bad. See, that's our baler. That thing is neat. I like that. It's a pretty cool, yeah, it's something else that you have to sit there and drive, but it's neat. And it doesn't do anything but bale, but it's quick, it does the job, and it makes some pretty nice big round bales, kind of like what I'm used to seeing near me or what I've grown up with. So it kind of just works. Should have kept the Kubota in there. Okay, let me find my sleepy sleep. 7 a.m., please. Okay, so now that we've had our nap, let's go get to collecting the rest of the stones. See this dude's pretty cool. He's got my seeds in him right now. It's not full or anything, but he's got the seeds for him when we start seeding. Okay. Let that idle warm up just a second, and don't need to move him at all. Okay. We should be empty. We're all good to go. And we'll get it running down the road. And since it's a back road will probably be anywhere between 30 to 45 miles an hour, so I ain't gonna worry about my hazards on the back road. Now, when we got on the main road, maybe. Almost um, started braking way too late. Or I did start braking way too late. And here's our field. Oh, I can turn that off, by the way. Alright. We'll keep the beacons on just because we're close to the field, or the edge of the border of the field. Border of the field. Especially since we're in what I would like to call a residential area. Just because you got two houses on both sides of you. Like that. You don't know if a kid or a dog will come running out. And yeah, there's fences, but kids can climb over fences and dogs can jump over them, go through them, all kinds of stuff. So beacons won't necessarily do anything for them, but be a little bit more noticeable. Like, hey, I'm out here. Kind of in Farming Simulator, we don't have to worry about that, but okay, we'll get these headlands done. This field's a pain in the butt for You really need some like a little bit smaller equipment for this field, but at the same time, you can't get too small because it still does have a decent size to it. Which is why I'm converting it to grass because it's gonna be a lot easier to get in here with grass or mowing machines and balers and all that jazz rather than try to get in here with a big harvester, the planter. So I'm not even sure if I really want to use that one planter for this. 'Cause it might be a little bit too big in here. I kind of figure out which way I wanted to go there. That's a fence. Come on, just go. Okay. I'll have to get better about not hitting stuff. Seem like my brain registers in my head this is a game, so when it comes down to it, hitting stuff doesn't affect me as much as it would in like real life or something. 'Cause if you did that in real life, a whole bunch of shit would be fucked up. You'd be out of some money. I'll pick that up. Get our headlands done here. These fields are bumpy. Okay, now we're going to get turned around. I'm gonna get this little corner real quick. Okay, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down for this path, clip that dude. Come down this side. And slowly but surely the field will be done in a weird, crazy, chaotic manner, but you know, that's the WolfInc way. Crazy and chaotic. It's like a mini game with them crows. I know in FS22 I can't actually like the crows are just like a visual effect, not anything physical. So it's a game to try and see if I can actually hit them or try to, even though I know I can't, but just try to. every time. Scare him off my field. Okay, we're gonna. I know I could probably easily take that in one go, or we're just gonna play it safe. Grab a half and another half of it. And we got that strip right there we gotta go finish, and then we got the edge of the field over there, which is gonna be a pain, but and Jabing. Alright. So this field will be done. Now we're gonna go take the seeder. We're gonna attempt to try to seed this field. I have forgot to check and see if the seeder will even plant grass, because I may need to actually go and get a different seeder for that. And we may eventually end up purchasing a little bit more land over here to actually keep our like Kubota equipment over here, since Kubota equipment will probably be the stuff that's mainly gonna be down here and operating in this vicinity. So there's no reason to have a big 400 plus horsepower tractor right here running, you know, a like 170 horsepower windrower mower. It doesn't matter. So, and the Kubotas, they have enough horsepower to get the job done. So we'll probably end up actually just running with them. Up here, we'll go ahead and get this picked up, and then go pick up the other stuff. Kick our beacons on. And that gives us a pretty good start to our lime. So now all we got to do is just really start turning it into crushing the stone down into lime, and then we'll have lime we can spread on the fields if we need to. But we'll need to scan the field eventually for with production or with a precision farming sensor. I don't know whose dog is out on the road. I hope it's not mine, but someone's dog's out on the road. But that is so realistic too. So for some reason, animals just cannot stay out of a road. If you ever go down a backcountry road, you'll find a lot of roadkill on the side, just because something about that road intrigues animals. I'll put the stone collector right there. And we're gonna leave this dude out just in case we need to run up with the auger wagon. So matter of fact, we'll actually probably park him near him. Okay. Out of time to take this big old honker. I can remember how to do. I done messed up. I done goofed it. Well, and now I'm running it over. This is fantastic. Okay. Now I'm definitely gonna turn this on so I don't do that again, because that's a pain in the butt. Soybeans, and we can't even do grass with this seeder. Okay, so just back that up. I guess we'll go look and see what we've got for cedars for grass, anyways. How many planters can do seed grass or will do? See your 3 meters, 15, 12, 8, and 6. I think an 8 should be out perfect. Just thing about the 8 meter one is it don't have enough horsepower for, or the Kubota doesn't have enough horsepower to pull it. Okay, so now we want to try to pull with a big dude. We need 240. So we do Massey, Fent, Glass. What's far? Or yeah, we could do a couple of these. Not that I'm actually buy the tractor, just rent it. Okay, so we need to go this way. We'll just use this setup to go ahead and plant the grass in that, and we'll take the smaller case, the 400, take him and with the grain cart down, and we'll use him to keep this guy supplied with grain while we're down, or not grain, there it is, with seeds. Dang, you can barely tell that the beacons are on. Must be my dog that keeps on running out on the road. I don't see his doghouse anywhere. Up there it is. Yeah, it's my dog, okay. Well, our grain cart is now empty, so we'll have to run and get seed from that. That gives us 89 to get the field done. See, there's those random stutters, man. Those random stutters. It's just so weird. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and plant this with grass. We'll make sure we're on grass real quick. I'm gonna try to get this headland over here first. Yeah, and C6 is just about right for this field. Or 8, I mean. 8 meters. Just bam, bam. I missed a bit there. It's okay, we'll come back and get that in a second. We'll definitely come back and get it. Because this is grass, we don't need to worry about running our edges for the corners. Nah, we just go for it. Full send. Dang, I still missed that one. I had all the time in the world and I still missed that one. Woo. Pretty tight turn 4, but we did it. Keep that edge pretty straight. This feels so oblong shape that it's not even funny. Making sure we get all the little bits that were missed. See, this thing's just gonna be a pain in the butt to try to reseed every single year. So like I find that these fields that are like this, it's a lot easier just to put something in that, or it's more profitable if you put something in that you only have to plant every so often, like grass once really, or you know, like cotton where it's every like 2 years or something like that. And can we get it? Yep. Okay. Bet. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get this little section over here finished off, and then we'll just have the one big section left. Well, bada bing, bada boom. And look at that. We're halfway through fall, I think is what it is. So we're technically in. Though where I'm at, it'd still technically be summer, but okay, bam, bam. I do remember I did say I'm just gonna run past here and try to get that covered with seed. Nice thing about grass is we're definitely gonna figure out what we missed pretty quickly once it starts growing in or growing. So I definitely did also forget to check to see if we can plant grass in this season. I'm assuming we can since we can definitely still harvest, but we'll be harvesting all the way until next month too, all the way through next month. We won't be, but you can be. Next year will be. I still missed it. I have to count how many times I missed something. Turn these lights on. Bada bing boom. Oh, and I don't have a plan for what we're gonna do after this. I didn't think about it, think that far ahead. I really didn't. I never really do to begin with, but We might actually keep this cedar for the crops that need a cedar to grow. Because I actually like this cedar. It's a pretty good size. And it doesn't have a fertilizer spot on it, which is nice because then I can turn around and use the pumps and hoses without feeling guilty of pulling around an empty tank on the cedar here. Okay, so now we've got that seeded. We'll check the soil here to see what it says. It needs rolling. That means we're gonna need to get a roller, which I think we were gonna need to get for almost anything anyways. But a roller we can get something that we can pull with the case anyways, and because it's something that we're gonna need in a couple different spots. Could get a smaller roller for that, which may be good, but we're only gonna really have to roll that field a few times. So I don't know if it's worth getting a smaller one specifically for that. Hmm. Okay, we'll leave this here. The dealership will come and pick it up when they want it, and we're gonna look into rollers. Okay, so now what roller do we want to roll for? 12 meter right there, 160 horse. Kubota could pull that easy. So we might run that for that smaller field. We've also got for 6.4, 140, so pretty pricey on the horsepower side, but we could use him and he's about the right size for that smaller field. See, 24 would be definitely too big for the small field, probably a little bit too big for the big field. So I think this would probably be our best bet between both of them. And the Kubota could still pull. Power roll 1230 HD. So we might just go with that one. The Kubota could still pull it because it's got like 200 horse. Might have a little bit more than that. But it can pull that just fine. And that way it's the best of both worlds. And we'll just use the Kubota for when we gotta go down there, because I don't want to have to take the case down there as much as possible. So if it's gonna be our main field tractor, I don't want to put that many road hours on it, especially when maintenance on it's looking not that fun. Okay, just getting resituated. Okay, hit this dude. Doesn't really matter. Okay, yeah, it's only 41,000. We can do that as long as it is 12.3 meters wide. Okay. Now, since it is turning dark or getting dark, we'll go ahead and just go down there and pick it up. And then come back, we'll sleep, and then we'll head down to field 25, roll it. Man, there's a problem with the server going on or something, because at least the chat server on YouTube anyways, because it's skipping up a little bit here and there. I don't know how the video is, so I'll have to go back and watch the video or the live stream and see if how well it holds up. The graphics card should definitely be able to handle it. Definitely by far. Especially since I'm only streaming or recording or not playing at 1080p. And I think I'm recording. I should be recording at 1080 too. Because it should just be recording whatever my monitor's showing. Well, we'll drive down in the Kubota, pick up that roller, and drive back. that's our plow that we're gonna be switching to uh when we get to that point. When we need to use a plow again, we'll be switching to it. So we've got a different plow right now, but I'm not too worried about grabbing it just yet. And my main concern is just getting home in the dark, man. See if that will help. I know you guys can barely see because I can barely see. There's our turn. I think that's the right one. Yeah, it's the right one. You're just wandering around in the darkness. That's okay. But what's probably going to happen is we're going to go ahead and get parked up at the farm. We're going to go ahead and sleep. And then I'll go ahead and end the stream there since we're coming up in about 2 hours of streaming. I think that'll be a nice little test for the GPU and everything else to kind of see how it's going. Did I miss my turn? No, this is it. I still haven't came and gotten the DeWitts yet, but they will. We're not going to park it there because that'll be a pain in the butt to kind of try to get it out. Go park over here. The Kubotas are a little like misc tractor that we'll do like the little misc jobs or that we take care of like our grass fields with. When he does this Kubota, I do have a front loader for it, so we do have that capability. I'm not gonna park it in there. We're just getting it out of the way of everybody else. Okay, we'll go ahead and shut the tractor off. That's actually a pretty neat little truck. I really like it a lot, actually. Okay. Oh, we gotta go through the save stuff. Okay. Controllers, I forget. And that's gonna confuse me. Got off the screen. Okay, so we've got field 25 planted in grass, which is awesome. And if we look, we should see just needs to be rolled. Yep, needs rolling. So we're good there. No stones though. No stones on 2. And it needs, well, planted and rolled and everything else. But we'll do either that. Either I'll do it between this stream and next stream, or I'll take care of it on next stream. But we'll see. But for tonight, that's going to be it on this stream. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.